सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे तु जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं दनुजवनकृशानुं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। नमः श्रीतुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते पूरितं हृदयं येन रामप्रेमामृतेन मे। Hari Om, salutations to all. First verse we saw, sun is the symbol of a very high goal that we must have and aspire to reach that goal and reach it also. See, some people think if I aim very high, if I aim for the sky, I will land on the treetop. If you aim for the sky, you should land where? In the sky only. Temporarily, we may not reach in first attempt, second attempt, then it's a different point, but it is not that aim high and then settle down with something in the middle. No. Achieve that. Till that is not achieved, keep striving. And yesterday when Gurudev said, when we spoke about Gurudev, that reaching the goal is not the goal, striving to reach is the goal. Again, that's in a context. It does not mean that realizing the truth is not the goal. That is the goal. And one has to realize. But one should not forget the journey. One should focus on the process. And if one doesn't attain, don't get disheartened, disappointed. Keep putting the effort and again strive, continue. So Hanumanji leapt at the sun, ate the sun. And we also saw how that whole journey is a symbol of the seeker's path. One is choosing to know the truth. And so a lot of obstacles will come on the way. Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic, all those one overcomes and finally attains the truth. So in this, there is also the last part which says, Ko nahi janat hai jag mein, kapi sankat mochan namatiharo. So kapi means what? So generally one translates kapi as a monkey. So in Sanskrit we say, Kam brahma sukham pibati iti kapi. One who is a sage, whose mind is pure, one whose mind is subtle, sharp, single-pointed, and who revels in the joy of Brahman, is a kapi. So kapi is not just a monkey. Kapi is a symbol of, is a word indicating actually a realized person who is a Jivan Mukta, who has known the truth, is a kapi. And Ka also has one other meaning, which is Bhagavan Vishnu. And so one who constantly drinks the name of the Lord. So Bhagavan Vishnu's avatar is Ramji. One who is always chanting Ram Nam and drinks the nectar of Ram Nam is called Kapi. So that line, Ko nahi janat hai jag mein Kapi sankat mochan. Kapi is actually Sankat Mochan. So two most powerful ways to overcome any problem are indicated in the word Kapi. One is operate from the attitude I am infinite consciousness, that gives maximum strength, or chant the name of Bhagavan. Either of these two can be done. Then whatever needs to be done externally to overcome a problem, one will anyway have to do, but the inner strength one attains when one remembers, I am not this role, I am infinite consciousness playing this role, and whatever is required in this I will do. Then one starts objectively thinking, okay, what can be done, how to deal with it, how to face it, how to overcome it. Otherwise, one is victimizing oneself, thinking, I am this, why did this happen to me, this should not have happened, there is enough resistance, and then there is sorrow, and attachments increase. So the problem only becomes more complicated. But if I know that I am here and this is exhausting some karma, and I am actually on my path to realize the truth. So Kapi word can give us that. Sankat Mochana Namati Haro. That you are a Kapi, you are Sankat Mochan. So Hanumanji bless us with the strength to deal with all problems, to overcome them. And there's deeper symbolism. We also saw that the sun, when he consumed, thinking of it to be a fruit, so that ignorance of the self causes false identification that I am the body, mind, intellect. And so one who helps us to overcome that ignorance, destroy that ignorance, and remove the root cause of all sorrow, that is the cure. Hanumanji is the one whose grace is being invoked so that we destroy this avidya, ignorance. Now, yesterday you had one debate question, right? First group, which was there, this side. What was the name of the group? I forgot. This side, which was there? Maruti group. Okay, so Maruti group. Your topic was about spirituality and ambition. So, who is the group representative? You can please come and share the points at what was discussed. Mic de do, ek cordless.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Swamiji. Initially, the members discussed that there can be a variety of ambitions, and the ambition may be to achieve great heights in spirituality itself. And if that is the goal, then the spirituality will definitely support it. By and large, the entire group was of the view that spirituality will actually help achieving the ambitions, and it goes together. And spirituality does not come in the way to achieve ambition. The group members gave certain examples of how successful people in the past as well as in the present, they have achieved their ambitions following the path of spirituality. Like the example of Raja Janak. Raja Janak followed the path of spirituality, and at the same time he was a king, and he was a very successful grahast and king, and then he achieved that path. In the present time, certain examples were given like of Ratan Tata, Mr. Narayan Murthy, Sudha Murthy, people like that. And they also have followed the path of spirituality, have also carried on their work sincerely, and they have achieved their ambitions. On the other hand, the person like Vijay Malaya, if we see that he was running for achieving all the ambitions like the worldly, all the money, and after that, but he did not follow the path of spirituality, and ultimately he is bankrupt. Similarly, the example was also given that Ravan was very successful, and Ravana had the Sone ki Lanka, and in spite of that, though that spirituality was not there in him, though he was worshipping Shiva and all that, but ultimately there was an end of Ravan and was killed by the god. There was a point made by one of the group member about Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic, and the point was made that normally what happens that it goes like T, R, and S in that sequence. The tamasic is given the maximum importance, and then rajasic, and then the sattvic is at the end. And then slowly we have to turn it and ultimately come to sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. And that is the path of following the spirituality. Also, certain professions were discussed in our group, and like a medical profession, a noble profession. And if a doctor practices medicine with the dharma along with that practice, doctor is considered next to God in that way. But then we know a lot of irregularities, lot of wrong things which are being done in the pharmaceutical industry and the medical profession, where the doctors who sell kidneys and then take a lot of money from pharmaceutical companies and all that, and then follow the path of adharma, and just to with a view to get more and more money and accumulate the wealth. And then that is not the correct. The correct way is to follow the path of spirituality. And there are doctors I know about in Mumbai that they are on the right path, and then we are not able to get their appointments easily, and they are so busy and a lot of practices there. So the whole success can be achieved following the path of spirituality. As we see in Bhagavad Gita also, when Arjuna, in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Vishad Yoga, when Arjuna was away from following the path of spirituality, although his objective was to win that war, he had prepared to win the war. But when he saw all these things started coming to his mind, that how I'll kill my gurus, how I'll kill my grandfather and my brothers and this and that, and a lot of sort of a fear developed in his mind. And because of that fear, he wanted to go back from the war, and he did not want to face that war, like achieving that particular goal. He wanted to run away. And when he was given that knowledge of spirituality by Krishna, and then he understood it, and then he fought the war, he succeeded. So he ultimately achieved his goal of winning over Kauravas. Even in morning, like we had a class on meditation, and I personally feel that when we follow the path of spirituality, and the first step to go towards meditation, and by doing that meditation, whatever we do, whether if we are a student or we are a working people doing in job or in the business or in the profession, our mind generally keeps wavering, and it wavers, and because of that we are not in a position to concentrate 100% on the work which we are doing, and some portion of our mind goes into wavering that. And when we follow the path of spirituality and learn that art, and then we are in a position to control our mind, and the mind gets concentrated, then we are in a position to give the full strength of our mind, the full into that particular work or the student, and then we get the good results out of it. And that is the way the spirituality helps us. That is what in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, that even do not think of the fruits of it. Thinking the fruits of it also will consume some portion of our mind. And if we do not think about the fruits and just concentrate 100% on the karma, then the whole focus will be on that, and then the entire we will be in a better position to achieve the ambitions. And this was also a point was made by the members, that the people should think for a larger goal, taking a teaching from Bhagavad Gita, that taking a larger goal of the welfare of the society and not for the self-interest. And when we move our mind from the self-interest to taking a larger goal, then ultimately we do our work, and then it helps us in achieving our goal also, the ambition also, in a better way. And certain words were suggested, like divinize your ambition, and with that divinity, bring values in virtues and karmas. It's a wrong notion that if someone follows the path of spirituality, a lot of his time will go and wasted into that spirituality, and then he will not be able to work properly, and then will disturb his either studies or for the students, or for a working people, but rather if somebody follows the path of spirituality, the spirituality will help to achieve the ambition by concentration of mind and things like that. Like an example was given by some of the member that Puji Gurudev also his entire life followed the path of spirituality and then set a very high goal of setting up the Chinmaya mission and then such a size. And it was just because that he was blessed and he was following the path of spirituality that he could achieve such a large thing and set up such a huge Chinmaya mission all over the world. Otherwise, for a normal human being, it would not have been possible had he not followed the path of the spirituality. These were the discussions, Swamiji,
Very
in
nice.
that group. Thank you so much.
Well done. Very well summarized. So nicely explained. I'm not going into too many details. Already he has done very nicely the detail. So this first shloka here is connecting to this discussion, group discussion. People think that spirituality will kill the ambition. Spirituality and ambition can't go together. And if you have to be spiritual, you have to drop all ambition. In the last stage, yes, one drops everything. But otherwise, ambition and spirituality can go together, should go together, because if that ambition otherwise will become adharmic ambition sometimes, or it can even become very selfish and one can become insensitive. If dharma is followed, then one will be able to achieve success and happiness both. So that is why this shloka, and sun represents there the high goal, highest ambition that one has. In spiritual path also, one is not ambitious in that sense of, if we associate ambition with I must succeed at the cost of others, then that is where we feel that spirituality and ambition can't go together. I have to put others down to succeed, that then they don't go together. Because in this we say we all rise together in spiritual life. So if my understanding of ambition is that I keep improving myself by having a higher purpose, a higher goal, serve the society, in that process I also become successful, prosperous, then that is no problem. And so spiritual life gives us the right foundation. You know, Gurudev used to give a very nice example in initial books, self-unfoldment, Kindle Life, etc. It comes. And the example is that there is a boat which is going in the ocean, and you see it is having a mast. And this mast is tall and there is a sail which is tied to the mast. So the wind will take the boat across. What is visible is the mast, but what is not visible is the keel below the boat. So he used to give that example that the higher the mast, the deeper must be the keel, otherwise the boat will topple. So what is the symbolism there? The higher the standard of living, the deeper must be the standard of life. So that standard of life is the values, is the spiritual ideals, is dharma. If the person is more and more anchored and rooted in that, then even the progress that one achieves, prosperity, wealth, will not corrupt the mind of the person. And the person will put that prosperity to good use, to service. They gave the example of some of them, Narayan Murthy ji and Sudha Murthy ji and Ratan Tata, etc. So that way spirituality and ambition will go together. If the clarity is there about what is spirituality and what is ambition and how both can be linked. Now we go to the second verse. So we'll chant the first verse together and then we go into the second one. बाल समय रवि भक्षी लियो तब तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह संकट काहू सो जात नटारो देवन आनि करि बिनती तब छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। बाली की त्रास कपीस बस गिरि जात महाप्रभु पंथ निहारो। चौकी महापुनि साप दियो तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो। कै द्विज रूप लिवाय महाप्रभु सो तुम दास के शोक निवारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। So the second shlok here he says, Bali ki trasa kapisa basai giri. When Bali, out of the torment of Bali, then Kapisa here means Sugriva. Sugriva was residing where? In the Rishyamukh mountain. Jata Mahaprabhu Panthaniharo. And who was keeping a watch? Hanumanji. Mahaprabhu here means Hanumanji. So Hanumanji is watching. That is Bali sending somebody to kill Sugriv. So he is protecting. Chauki Mahamuni Sap Diyo Tab. Bali has been given the curse that he can't come to Rishyamukh Parvat. Chahiya kauna bichara bicharo. He may send he may not come, but he can send anybody else to kill Sugriv. So how will Sugriv get liberated? He can't sit there full time. Whole life, how will he spend only in the Rishyamukh Parvat? So how will he get freed from this thing? Because anywhere else he goes, Bali will follow him and kill him. So how to free this Sugriv? So, chahiya kauna bichara bicharo. Sugriv is in that pitiable state. So now, what did Hanumanji do? Kai dvija rupa livaya Mahaprabhu. He took the form of a dvija, of a brahmana. And when Bhagwan Ram and Lakshmanji were coming, he took that form, went there, understood who they were, made them have a friendship with Sugriv, and he helped Sugriv to get out of this trouble of Bali. So tuma dasake sokanivaro. Hence you please remove the sorrow of mine as your servant. Ko nahi janat hai jag mein kapi sankat mochan naam tiharo. So now this is the simple prasang here. So this group which discussed about Bali, they can come and present. आ जाओ. 5 minutes is actually your time, each group. Maximum time. So tell the question also, then share the answer. Yeah.
Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. So the question given to us was,
Little up the mic.
why did Bhagwan kill Bali from behind? Was it fair? So now we'll look the answer in two parts. The first is, was it fair to kill Bali? And then why was he killed from behind? So the first thing is, like as per Manu Smriti, one who abducts someone else's wife is considered to be Atatain. And so there are 5 categories. Like, if you commit those kind of crimes, then any one of them, then you are considered as Atatain. And in those situations, the punishment is capital punishment. Now Ram is from Ichhvaku Vansh. And hence it is his duty to that the dharma should prevail. So then he has to do that thing. And as a king, Bali had more responsibility and to set right example for his kingdom and for the society. But he didn't do that. Even after, when he exiled Sugriv, his other ministers and his wife Tara and all those people explained him that what has actually happened and all those things. But he didn't listen to any of them. So he was not ready to understand and to mend his ways. And in a way, by doing all this and by abducting his brother's wife, which is considered as his daughter, so he behaved like an animal. And hence killing an animal from behind, that was permissible at those times. That hunting used to happen, and that is how this was justified.
हो गया. आपके इतने सारे तो सवाल थे उस समय.
So all those questions are
Solved हो
covered in
गए.
this.
हो गए, समाधान हो गया. So Bhagwan is justified in killing him from behind because he was an animal and he was an Atatayim.
Huh.
2 points
Yes.
mainly. Okay, well done. Huh? Yeah, I am coming. Don't worry. I will explain. So पहले मुझे आप बताओ आपका सोर्स क्या है ये सब का डिस्कशन का. One thing you quoted Manusmriti, that is good. Anything else? Any other source? गीता ठीक है, मैं रामायण की बात कर रहा हूँ. रामायण का आपका सोर्स क्या है? तुलसी रामायण. Did you open तुलसी रामायण and refer? हाँ? रामानंद सागर. हाँ, देखा. वो भी रामानंद सागर में जो देखा था उसकी स्मृति, उसमें अभी क्या एक्चुअली दिखा है वो पता नहीं. अभी उसमें से जितना याद है, जितना स्मृति में है, उससे हम कर रहे हैं.
She read out Akhanda Nandi Maharashtra view, and it was exactly what we have read online. That is the justified meaning, because as it Ikshvaku clan, he had to maintain the order, so the purview was everywhere. And because he was an animal, and also the third point, one more point, when you said that he had promised, like you just said about Sugriv. So he had approached Sugriv. Sugriv was in that critical condition, and he had made a promise to Sugriv, and he needed to stand by Sugriv as well. But just not being the first point, because if that becomes the first point, then it becomes a problem. Because then we justify our actions to fulfill the first point. That is not the first point.
One was in the singer. As an instrument, he was serving as an instrument.
Who was serving as an instrument?
One, so there the rest.
Then who is the doer? If Bhagwan Ram is the instrument, then who is the karta there? Hanuman becomes karta. Hare Ram. Doer is Ramji only there. How is he the instrument there?
So three are equal to
Daughter.
when you consider your
Brother's wife.
wife as your own wife. So Dharam established karnically something
So we have to understand the points are correct, but we have to explain the points in a way that there are two conflicting standpoints. Now in this, suppose we question Bhagwan's duty is to establish dharma, etc. Correct. Now if you say killing an animal from behind is fine, then animal doesn't have to follow. This dharma of, younger brother's wife and this and that, वो animal को थोड़ी apply होता है. Animal can do whatever animal likes. This dharma applies to whom? To evolved beings. And so if that logic is used, then animal can be killed. So from animal standpoint, it is justified that Bhagwan killed from behind. These are things said by Vali only, asked by Vali only. And Bhagwan Ram replies. So, I am going to take from this our Valmiki Ramayana and explain that Vali himself is asking this question to Bhagwan when he is hit by the arrow. Vali only says, Bhagwan, why did you do this? Because when Vali's wife Tara, she tells Vali that Sugriva has befriended Ram, and Ram is none other than avatar of Vishnu. So Vali says, if he is avatar of Vishnu, he will not be partial. Bhagwan can't be partial. So there is no problem. For him, Sugriva and Vali both will be equal. So he will not be partial. So don't worry. Because Sugriva, from where did he get the strength to challenge Vali? So Tara says the backing is of Ram and he is avatar. So Vali says then doesn't matter, for him everything is same. If he is really avatar, then he will not discriminate. So I will go, and he accepts the challenge. And then we know that Sugriva is beaten black and blue and he runs and comes back. And Bhagwan says that, you both are looking similar and I couldn't recognize, and so I want. So he puts the mala on his neck, sends him. Tulsidaji there he says it is a Vijay mala which Bhagwan has put. And also the fact is that Jiva goes there with his Abhiman. Karta bhav is still very strong, so gets bashed up. Even though Bhagwan is there behind him, he gets bashed up. Finally he comes and surrenders, saying, I can't do anything. When he becomes helpless and full surrender happens, then that's why Bhagwan then finally kills. So that's a bhakti standpoint. So when he shoots the arrow and Bali is hit, he falls down. There Bali is asking this question now. And see what Bhagwan Ram replies. It's very beautiful. See here now. I'm going to omit certain portion. Bhagwan, he insults Bhagwan quite a bit, saying, you are a Kshatriya, you are supposed to be very dharmic, and again you are supposed to be avatar of Vishnu, and everything is supposed to be same to you, and how like a coward you stand behind the tree and then you shoot the arrow. All that he reproaches Bhagwan like anything. You are a sovereign son, worthy of trust and pleasing of aspect, and all that he explains here. Who born in the Kshatriya race and possessed of sacred knowledge will perpetrate a cruel deed like you? So he reproaches Bhagwan like anything. You are born in Raghukula and people of Raghukula are very high in noble values, virtues, and you behave like this. So, if you read this portion, one will really think that yes, what is this? What did Bhagwan Ram do? And he brought down the whole name of his Kula and all that. Valmiki Ramayana I am very fascinated by. Tulsi Ramayana has its own beauty and bhakti, bhav, etc. But Valmiki is something else only. That how the human angles he brings about and what all, emotions in each character, how they bring out is fabulous. So when he says all this, what does Bhagwan say here? He says here that having killed me here with an arrow, even though I had not committed any offense and thus perpetrated an abominable act, what will you say in your defense in the midst of all holy men? He challenges Bhagwan. So, what does Bhagavan do? He starts answering. So he says that one very nice thing, powerful thing, Vali also says that you did foolishness, that you befriended Sugriv. If you had befriended me, I would have brought back your wife just like that. While dying, he says that. You look at that. He's saying that. Being difficult to approach, I have been killed by you while you were not to be seen on the battlefield. Even as a man fallen into the clutches of sin would when bitten by a serpent while fast asleep. I would have brought back your wife to you in a single day had you but moved me in this behalf before. For it is for this that I have been killed by you, keen as you were to oblige Sugriv. So just because you wanted to oblige Sugriv, because you want your wife back, he wants his wife back, and so you both have befriended each other. And I would have easily got your wife. Why did you kill me? So all kinds of angles he puts in front of Bhagavan, and he says this was absolutely unfair and is even foolish. I could have brought back at your command the princess of Mithila, even if she had been kept in a place surrounded by sea water or in the lowest subterranean region. Like that, he gives many analogies. She may have been in Patal, wherever she might have been, I would have happily got her and given it to you in one day. So all day Bhagavan is listening quietly. Now he starts replying. Bhagavan starts replying. So what does he say? One very powerful thing he starts with, and he says, Dharma Dharmam cha kamam cha samayam chapi laukikam avijnaya katham balyan mamihadya vigarhase. You don't know what is dharma, and how dare you even speak all these things, because you don't have any understanding. Without fully knowing the secret of righteousness, worldly interest and enjoyment, as well as our worldly conduct, how do you reproach me bitterly today on this spot through ignorance? Then he says that the right of punishing and rewarding the beasts, the birds, the human beings vests in the Kshatriyas, because they have to maintain Nyaya and Dharma. So he says that this entire globe, including mountains, forests, woodlands, belong to the scions of Ikshvaku, and they have the right to do this. So Bharat, now see this. First of all, Ramji is not a king at that time, nor is he a prince. He has been exiled. No, he is not made the prince. So the first argument is that he is not punishing them, punishing Vali as a king. He is punishing Vali as a representative of Bharat. So he says here, Bharat, whose mind is set on virtue, who is truthful and guileless, who knows the truth about righteousness, self-gratification and wealth, and is intent on chastising the evildoers and recompensing the virtuous, rules over the earth. So it is Bharat who is the king. I am his representative. Kishkinda comes under the rule of the Ayodhya Samrat. And so, Bharat is a king in whom prudence and humility both are present, in whom truthfulness is firmly established, as also valor as ordained in the scriptures, and who has an idea of time and place. Having received his command for the propagation of righteousness, we as well as other rulers of the world range the entire globe to promote dharma. So this is the first argument, that they are subjects of Ayodhya as a not Ayodhya, what is that? Of the king Bharat, and the entire Samrajya. In that, Kishkinda is a part of it. So they are subjects of Bharat. And by Bharat's command, dharma has to be established, number one. And so, what is the dharma in this context? So he gives the same logic that you had explained, that you have put down dharma, and he says here that you put down virtue and stand condemned for your doings. You top those who are slaves of lust and do not adhere to the path trodden by good kings. So he is a king also. Vali is setting an example. So that is another point, that as a king, if you set a wrong example by taking away the wife of your own brother, what will your praja do? So as an individual itself you can't do. Then as a king you have acted like this. So your job is to maintain dharma and you have only broken dharma. Then by him who follows the path of virtue, an elder brother, father, and even he who imparts learning, all the aforesaid three should be equally regarded as fathers. Similarly, a younger brother, one's own son, a virtuous pupil too, should be accounted as good as son, and morality alone is the authority in this matter. Same way, the wife of a guru, the wife of a younger brother, and one's own son. All the three are supposed to be considered as the daughters. So he says, you cohabit through lust with Ruma, the wedded wife of Sugriva, who is like your daughter. Here it says, even your daughter-in-law. You should treat her even like that. While Sugriva is alive, you have thus perpetrated a sinful deed. And I, a Kshatriya born of high pedigree, cannot brook your sin. Death is the punishment. So as a Kshatriya, I have to do this. You are under my subject. You are a subject under my rule. I represent Bharat. My job is to establish dharma. You have done adharma, so I have to kill you. Then he says that I can't leave you unpunished. And my friendship with Sugriva is as indissoluble as that with Lakshmana. This is where he explains also that I have also given the oath to him, but mainly the first reason is this. Then he says that Vali argues that, all this you are saying, this doesn't apply to me because I am an animal. So Bhagavan gives this argument here. One very powerful thing he says here. This generally we don't understand well, and this has to be understood in a proper context. So he says that men who having perpetrated sins have been subjected to punishment by kings become stainless and ascend to heaven like those who have performed meritorious deeds. So if you have done a wrong karma and you have got the punishment for it, that wrong karma phala has got exhausted, you get purified and you ascend heaven. So by killing you, what have I done? I washed you of your sin. That's what he says here. A thief gets fully absorbed from sin either through punishment or by letting go by the way of mercy. A king not punishing a sinner, however, incurs his sin. So if the king does not do dharma, the king will get the sin of the adharmic person. Now if you think about it, this, and he quotes, so this is from Manusmriti, Shasanadva Vimokshadva Stena Steyad Vimuchyate Ashasitva tu tam Raja Stenasyapnoti Kilbisham. If the king does not punish the sinner, the king gets the sin. Now imagine that way if you think about it. If Arjuna had not fought the war, if Pandavas had not fought the war, the entire Papa karma done by the Kauravas would come to whom? To Pandavas only. Now obviously in this dharma and adharma is very clearly to be established as per the Shastra, not as per the individual people's understanding ki I think it is dharma, so it is dharma. Mujhe to dharma hi lagta hai. That and all is stupidity. proper going by dharma, we have to understand what is right, what is wrong, and who is right and who is a sinner. Otherwise, today sinner is portraying oneself as a great Mahatma, Dharmatma and all that, and justifying all the sins also. No, that's not God's job. Who said it's God's job? A Kshatriya's job it is to establish dharma. That's why he said all that, no? So sinner can't say that. If a thief says to the court, that's not your job, God will punish me. Court, the judge will say, this is my job, God is doing through me only. So a sinner can't justify like that. So then that is one point that he gives. Then Vali says that, I am an animal. This does not apply at all. Then Bhagavan says, then though there is no question, animal can be killed from anywhere. You don't have to go in front of an animal and kill. So he gives the example, meat-eating people hit with violence the deer which are unwary or circumspect. Even those which have their faces turned away from the hunters, and no blame attaches to this. You can kill now. You don't have to go and face only. You can go and kill from behind. All hunters do that. So if you think you are an animal, then I did not do anything wrong. And if you think that you are a higher evolved being, because do animals have like that, kingdom and praja and people following and all that is not there. So these were actually not just monkeys. If you see in Valmiki Ramayana, right in the beginning it comes. They are not monkeys. They are actually higher beings, and they are beings who have come, like yesterday we saw, they are Amsha of Devatas. So they have tremendous powers. And so with power comes what? Responsibility. So if one has power and one is ruling, one is in the position, one needs that responsibility. And so Vali, finally when all this Bhagavan says, royal sages well versed in the principle of righteousness go on a hunting. Hence, O monkey, you were mortally wounded by me with an arrow in the course of your encounter. No matter whether you were not fighting with me or fighting, for you are but a monkey, you are just an animal, then I will kill. Now comes a beautiful part where Vali says, Eva muktastu ramena Vali pravyathito brisham na dosham raghave dadhyau dharme adhigata nischayaha. Vali says, yes, what you have said is acceptable. I have no flaw. I can't find any fault with you. What you have done is the right thing as per dharma. So Vali for his part no longer found fault with Sri Ram, certainly with regard to righteousness having now been attained by him. Vali takes the hand of Angad, gives it to Sugriv, to Bhagwan Ram, and says, you please take care of him. And Bhagwan Ram gives Atma Gyan to Tara. Vali has been killed by Bhagwan. So he attains mukti. Now you think about it. In this, there is anything for Vali to lose. Vali got mukti. Atma Gyan was given to Tara. Angad is in the care of Bhagwan Ram. Is all win-win situation or not? Sugriv got back the kingdom and his wife. If you actually see Bhagwan Ram's decisions, they all will be win-win for all. There is some sacrifice in that. There is no doubt. In certain things, there will be like sending Sitaji to forest and all that. So, I neither grieve for myself, nor for my wife Tara, nor even my kinsmen, as I do for my son Angada, who is foremost in point of virtues and is adorned with armlets of gold. So, he says, you please take care of him and let him be under your guidance and you protect him. So he says, establish the very best understanding between Sugriv and Angad, for you stand as their protector and preceptor in teaching them. Bhagwan Ram becomes the guru of Angad. What should be done and what should not be done. Imagine, Angad has to befriend now Sugriv, and Bhagwan has given the hand of Angad to Bhagwan Ram. Vali has given the hand of Angad to Bhagwan Ram, who is the killer of his own father. But the father says, I have no fault with you. So Angad also has understood that there was nothing wrong which was done. So this was the Vali episode. In this, Hanumanji played a very, very big role. So when he says here, Bali ki trasa kapis basai giri. So what is the tras of Bali? So we have to go little into the backstory here. Yesterday we saw that Hanumanji was blessed with various powers by all the different devatas. So what did he do? Small child has got so many powers. Vivek Shakti is not yet there. So what will the child do with those powers? He starts misusing. So with those powers he goes and troubles the rishis, munis, the devatas, all of them. He starts troubling people. And for some time the rishis, munis, they also are, it's okay, bacha hai, chota hai, nadan hai, forgive, let it go. But he continues to keep doing this. So then they gave him a curse that you forget all your powers now until somebody reminds you. So this is the curse that they gave him. Badase yat samashritya balam asman plavangama tad dirgha kalam vettasi nasmakam shapa mohitaha yadate smaryate kirtihi tadate vardhate balam. So the rishis, they say that not only you will forget all your powers now, but when you are reminded, yadate smaryate kirtihi, when you are reminded of the powers, your powers will grow more. So whatever he has forgotten, whatever time has been spent, uska compound interest sab milke unko bal will increase later when he is reminded. To Hanumanji by the rishis, that as a child he will forget all his powers. And so Hanumanji then, what did he do? He goes to Surya Bhagwan, he learns many things, Veda, etc., that he has learnt. And he goes and joins the father of Vali and Sugriv. Who is the father of Vali and Sugriv? Anybody knows the name? No, Surya Devata is so the Amsha, na? The Amsha is Surya Devata. Like Indra's Amsha is Vali, but there is a physical father, right? Like Amsha of Surya, Shiva is Hanuman, but there is a father there, no? So the name is Riksharaj. Riksha actually. Yeah. Riksha by name, who resembled the sun in splendor and was ruler of all the monkeys. So Vali and Sugriv's father is Riksha, and he joined. So having ruled for a long time, this Riksha, he dies and he hands over the kingdom to Vali. And that time, here he says, from boyhood, Hanumanji and Sugriv are friends. And he has grown with Sugriv. And then Riksha is there. So he has seen the father of Sugriv and Vali ruling in a dharmic way. And then finally, Vali is made the king. So Hanumanji is well versed with this whole family. So he developed with Sugriv an unwary and unbroken friendship similar to that of the wind with fire. Now, he did not know at all these times that he has all these powers because the curse has been there on him. And so he is there with Sugriv. And now this whole backstory, all of you know, that once this Mayavi Rakshas comes there and Mayavi challenges Vali to a duel because his brother Dundubi has been killed by Vali. And Vali had lifted that Dundubi, swirled him around and threw him. And that Dundubi's carcass went and fell where? Matang Rishi's ashram in Rishyamukh Parvat. So Matang Rishi cursed him that if you come here, you will die. So then Mayavi comes there in the night to challenge Vali. And Sugriv actually tells him that please don't go now to fight, because in the evening the Rakshasic forces have tremendous power. Their power is much more in the evening and the night. He says, don't go now, go in the morning. Vali says, I don't have to be scared of anybody. I have killed Dundubhi and he is just the Mayavi, he is the brother of Dundubhi. I will deal with it. So Vali goes. Sugriv also goes with him. So you see the love that Sugriv has for Vali. He did not have gone. No? And he is advising Vali that you are the king, you are the most powerful, you don't go, I will go, and don't go now. But Vali doesn't listen to any of that. He says, I am going, and he goes. Then Sugriv follows with him. So Vali goes with Sugriv. This Mayavi runs, and finally goes into a cave. So Sugriv is standing outside and Vali tells him, you wait here, I will come back. He goes inside and 15 days was told to him by Vali. That 15 days is the time. And you will go, if after 15 days I don't come, you return. That has been told. So Vali has gone inside, fight is happening and lot of sounds etc. keep coming out, and it's over a month now. And suddenly all the sounds of fighting stopped. And river of blood is flowing out of that cave. So what happens? Sugriv becomes scared. Puts the huge stone, a boulder, to block the cave, because he is scared that now if Vali has been killed by this Mayavi, then I am no match to Vali, to this Mayavi. So he runs and he goes back. Tells everybody that this is what has happened. Those who are there, they say that, okay, if Vali has been killed, then you should become the king. He did not do this with the intent of becoming the king. They said that if Vali is not there anymore, then you have to be the king. And they crown him as the king. And eventually what happens? Vali comes out. And when Vali comes out, he sees that Sugriv has become the king. He doesn't ask any question also. He assumes that Sugriv has done this out of purpose, that he blocked the cave. Sugriv falls at his feet and tries to explain to him, but Vali doesn't listen and he is hell-bent to kill him. So Sugriv runs. See, Hanumanji also goes with him at that point in time. Because one point we have to remember here, I didn't mention earlier, when Hanumanji went to study from Surya Devata, Hanumanji studied in 60 hours and he wanted to give Guru Dakshina to Surya Bhagwan. That time Surya Bhagwan said, I don't want anything. My Amsha is there on the earth and he is Sugriv. You ensure that you are there with Sugriv and you protect him. So Hanumanji is doing this also as his expression of gratitude to his teacher. Otherwise Hanumanji doesn't have to run. Sugriv is running for his life. Vali is chasing him. Why does Hanumanji have to run? No, that is the deep friendship that they had. So one is a friendship, but second is also that the promise he has given to his teacher that I will protect your son. So there's both angles involved there. And so he also goes with Sugriv and they are running everywhere and this Vali chasing. Finally they land up in this Rishyamukh Parvat. So when they go to Rishyamukh Parvat, then Vali stops. I can't come there. And he is living there. Now think about this Sugriv. What kind of a life is Sugriv's life? He is limited to the area of this place, Rishyamukh Parvat. He can't go out from there. Can he live in peace there? He is not at peace there also. Why? Because any time Sugriv can come, can send anybody, Vali can come or send anybody to kill him, and he is every single moment living in fear. Correct. Wife is to abducted, kingdom to gone, no place proper to stay, living in the Rishyamukh Parvat, can't go out anywhere else. lockdown situation happened for him. Compulsory lockdown situation for him. No Swiggy available, nothing. Just limited on the hill there, he is plucking whatever fruits, eating there, and every moment living in fear when this fellow can come and kill me. I'll take the question later, I'll finish this prasang. So, what does he symbolize actually? Vali in our life symbolizes, Sugriv in our life symbolizes what? Sugriv, who is living on Rishyamukh mountain in fear. Are we not the jivas who are every moment living in fear? When we will die, what will happen to us? Continuously living in fear. Correct, attached to the body. Jiva is living in fear only full time. Though Sugriva literally means one who has controlled very well. One who has controlled his mind, his senses is Sugriva, Sushtugriva. Still there is fear. Still there is attachment. And so, Sugriv is living in this. Vali ki tras kapis basai giri. So the jiva is living in fear every moment. Vali cannot come to this place. Where? To Rishyamukh Parvat. So Rishyamukh Parvat symbolizes what? It symbolizes satsang. Rishimukha, satsang. So this satsang is that where this Vali cannot come. Now Vali cannot come means, who is Vali now? So one is that meaning. Vali is lust, desire. And this Vali had that boon. This Valmiki Ramayana doesn't say that. Maybe some other versions must be saying that whoever is his opponent, half of his strength will come to Vali. And his strength will become double. Opponent's strength will reduce to half. Vali's strength will become double. So what is the meaning of that? Vali represents that lust, temptation, all kinds of lower impulses, which when a seeker faces, what will happen? The seeker's strength will become half. Happens or not? Diabetics, Rasagulla has to come in front. Full resolution gone. What will one say? एक बार एक्स्ट्रा थोड़ा इंसुलिन ले लूंगा चल जाएगा, लेकिन ये कब मिलेगा खाने को? जस्ट हैव इट. That is one of the justifications. I don't be too hard on yourself. Just enjoy. खा लो, चलेगा. After all, you are anyway going to die. Die sweetly. The whole point is why you have to be disciplined. That's the purpose, right? Why do I need to be disciplined? If I want a certain goal, it depends on my goal, right? If I have no higher goal in life, ठीक है, जो करना है करो ना, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? Like if somebody wants an Olympic medal, then one has to train very hard. There, what is the question if somebody asks that how disciplined I have to be? I have to be as disciplined as necessary to attain the medal, to be the best in the world where there is nobody else who can match up to me. Then I have to put in that much effort and discipline. And here the goal which we need is what? Is realization. You have to be inspired by the goal, not pressurized by the goal. That's why it's important to have the Swadharma. Anchor in the Swadharma, what you are made for, what comes to you naturally, what is your niche, what is your temperament, and choose a goal. If you love your goal, you will move towards it with joy or not. We take up goals out of pressure to prove ourselves, to prove something to somebody, then that is a pressure. If I love my goal, an artist loves to paint, sets up a high goal for himself, does. Sports person, artist, anybody. Sachin Tendulkar, suppose we say, 16 years he was playing against Pakistan. He made his debut at 16 against some of the fastest bowlers in the world. And his life, if you see, is so fascinating. Do you know he started as a bowler? He went to Dennis Lilly Academy in Chennai and he enrolled himself as a bowler. And Dennis Lilly said, you should take up batsmanship, don't be a bowler. You will excel as a batsman. Then he shifted. That's why he is an all-rounder, and how many wickets he has taken for India also. And of course, in batting, he is a god of cricket and set so many records. Now, every day he has to practice some 8 hours, 10 hours. And you know how he used to live. If you listen to Harsha Bhogle speaking about Sachin Tendulkar and the efforts that he has put in. When in Shivaji Park, he used to go and play. And he used to get up early in the morning and go for the practice, then play the whole through the day, whatever, those league matches and all that, come back, again practice at home, then go to sleep. Again next day morning he does the same thing. Continuous. How much? Suppose you see Zakir Hussain has to play tabla. He loves playing tabla. You and I play 1 hour, we say, अरे हमारा हाथ दुख रहा है, अभी कितना धाम 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 करते रहेंगे, कितने घंटे मुझे बजाना पड़ेगा to become successful. Zakir Hussain doesn't ask that question because that is his passion. So the goal I set, first of all, the field I should choose, I must love. The goal I set must be very inspiring to me. Then I will put in whatever is required for it. Then there is no pressure. It is not difficult. Correct. You have to love your goal. And sometimes, yes, motivation dips. There is no question about it. At that time, what do you do? Remind yourself why I want this goal. Then to all the more I have to be disciplined. No, because what I am attempting is beyond this world. It is, I have to rise above body, mind and intellect, and any compromise there because of attachment I am giving into a temptation, then I am actually encouraging body identification. I am going away from the goal. So I have to be careful in that, clear. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy. Within the bounds of what is helpful to me to reach my goal, I can enjoy. And there is enough in that actually. Our mind has some tendency to break rules and enjoy. It has got habituated to that. And many of those things are compromise that we do because of our conditioning, because it has been fed into our mind that if you do this, this is happiness. Or I have seen somebody doing it, then I feel happy. I keep giving this example, but that's the example. People drink alcohol. First time whoever drinks alcohol, how does it feel? Pathetic, no? Still we drink. And make ourselves like it. And they say you will develop a taste for it eventually. Some things, even music and all that, it will grow on you. You just keep doing it. Arey, why? It literally destroys the grey cells in the brain. Hey, itne thode hamare buddhi mein. That also you want to destroy. And one makes it as though it's very cool. Now there's all social conditioning. You drink, you are a cool chap. You don't drink, you are a nerd, uncool, boring. You are missing something in life. All kinds of pressure. Now all that is conditioning. No? And who is a seeker? A seeker is one who follows the truth, not follows the conditioning. What is the truth? The truth is this is stupid. Why will I destroy my body, destroy my mind, destroy my prana shakti, destroy my spiritual energy? Useless it is. So I have to be very clear on that. So Vali, he represents that temptation, distraction, sense temptations, all that. You know, one very important line I read somewhere. Better to avoid temptation than to fight it. A wise seeker will do that, which is what this is. No, Swamiji. What is the use of sense control like that? रसगुल्ला आपके सामने हो और आपका मन प्रभावित न हो, that is sense control. So I am attempting that. Staying in the world, enjoying everything, yet not be attached to it. That is self-control. How much have you achieved that? 9 out of 10 times I give in, but 1 time I live in control. Slowly I will develop like that. Those 9 times that I've indulged, that 9 times has created vasana for another 10 times. How will that ever happen? Especially when I know something is hurtful, harmful, not conducive to my growth, why will I even do that? You want to return to your place now, let us say. So if suppose some of you are from Mumbai. When you go out of Vibhooti, you take a right, you will go to Mumbai. You take a left, you will go where? Pune. No, Swamiji, I will go to Mumbai via Pune. Okay, if you have that much time, do it. An intense seeker says, enough I have had in this world, bas khatam ho gaya kaam, mujhe mukti chahiye. If you want to go through bhoga and all this, then go through 7 worlds up and all that, and then attain mukti, your choice. So Vali represents that, and that's why Bhagavan kills him from behind, meaning a seeker has to be very careful. Why do I need to go and face myself to temptation, especially when my mind is not fully under my control? Avoid, because which vritti will give rise to what samskar, we don't know. How many lives we have lived in lower realms, what all impulses and temptations we have faced, and what kind of emotions and enjoyments and all that one has gone through. All those samskars are latent, lying somewhere. Now, which one will give rise to what? Nobody knows. So why expose oneself to things which I know are hurtful and harmful? No need. Just drop, avoid. Because even if I go through it, I will have to put in that effort to again come out of it. If I am going in a wrong direction, what will I have to do? Finally, I have to take a U-turn and again move in the right direction. That much time, energy, everything gone for a toss. If one has it, do it. If one doesn't have it, then one becomes wise, saying, no, this is not possible. So Vali is that. And so when Vali has chased him, Vali cannot come to Rishyamukha. Rishyamukha means satsang. When one is in satsang, at least, the mind will not think of samsar. Swamiji, हमको तो सत्संग में भी याद आता है. Then we can't help it. That means more chitta shuddhi is required, more karma yoga has to be done. But otherwise, in general, at least in satsang, because the mind is listening to inspiring things, higher values, Bhagwan, his Leela and all that, the mind will not get tempted with, one is not brooding and imagining sense pleasures. So Rishyamukha means that, he can't come there. Now Bhagwan is coming there, and when Bhagwan comes there, he is being told by Shabari that you go to Rishyamukh Parvat, because earlier the ashrama Matang Rishi was there. Then this Dundubhi was put there and Matang Rishi left that and he came to Pampa Sarovar and there he built his ashram and Shabari met Bhagwan there. So Shabari tells you go there, you will meet Sugriv and he will help you to find Sita ji. They know the whereabouts and you please go there. So he comes searching for Sugriv. Now Bhagwan has come searching for Sugriv. Think about that. That prasang also is so powerful actually. Sugriv is who? The jiva who is living in fear of death. For Vali, it is, for Sugriv, Vali is symbolizing death. For us as seekers, Vali symbolizes what? Sense, temptations and lust. And if you equate both, Sense temptation is death. Shankaracharya says, I am not saying. In Vivek Chudamani, he says that you drop the sense objects, they are more dangerous than even poison. Why? Because if you see poison, do you die? Only if you consume, you die, no? Visham nihanti bhoktaram, drashtaram chakshusapyayam. If you just look at sense objects, you will die. ऐसा कैसा होता है स्वामी जी? All the tempting things we see, then the desire arises, then the brooding starts, then the attachment, then I want it, and if I don't get it, anger, and that whole ladder of fall happens. Now one gets destroyed. कहाँ से शुरू हुआ? Just one reel, one picture. Somewhere I went, and that's why they call it window shopping. Window shopping means you are supposed to stand outside the window and only see. But that seeing creates what? Now it is not window shopping, now it is online shopping. You buy one product and they will say similarly like this all available. So you went to buy one and then you buy another 10. Many times we don't even need all those. But that once I see that temptation. So that Vishayas are like that. So a seeker has to be very, very careful. Now Bhagwan Ram goes there and this Sugriv is scared that has Vali sent these people. And Hanumanji is keeping guard. So he tells Hanumanji, you go and find out. Look at Sugriv's mind also. No? He's so scared. Because Vali is so powerful and he is living continuously in that fear. He can't move out from that place. So what happens next? That we will see in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.